everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the trial paper for Negeri Sembilan. Okay, number 11. So the diagram here shows the graph of a quadratic function f of x equals to negative x plus p square plus q. Okay, so express the equation of the symmetry axis of the curve in terms of u. So where is the symmetry axis? Yeah, so it's a line that will divide your graph into two equal halves. Okay, which this is the line that we meant to. So it's always a line that is going to be parallel to our y-axis. Okay, so which means that for me to find out the equation of this straight line is going to be x equals to something, and the something is going to be the x coordinate here. So I'll need to find the x coordinate here, which is the midpoint between the negative u and 3u. So which means I can plus them together and then divide by 2. So I find the center. So 2u divided by 2, then it will give me u. So I know that the equation of the symmetry here is going to be x equals to u. Okay, so please remember you cannot leave your answer because this is actually just mean that this is u. But the equation of this line is actually x equals to u. Okay, so you have 1 mark for the A part. So after that, we move on to B. So if u equals to 2, find the range of the values of k so that the equation f of x equals to k has real roots. So we know that u is equals to 2, so which means that this is going to give us negative 2 and 3 multiplied by 2, it will give us 6. Okay, so this is a point where you can check your answer lah. Like from here to here is like 4, from here to here the distance is also 4, which is like a correct one. Okay, so yeah, because if let's say you got your A wrong, right, then which means that you couldn't get like a U here, then you'll realize that the distance between the left hand side and the right hand side, you're like getting a different number of the distance. Okay, so for the B part, so we need to find a range so that the equation has real roots. So we need to find out our f of x first. Okay, so by looking at this equation, right, I hope that you can recall like in this chapter, we actually learned that there's a formula that tells us that if f of x equal to a, x minus p squared plus q, it's going to tell us that if a is a positive number, it will give us a graph, a parabola with a minimum point, which is p and q. So if let's say the a is a negative number, so which means it will give us a maximum point, so which the coordinate is also p and q. So the difference is only whether it's maximum or minimum. So the x coordinate, you are getting it from the bracket here. Then after that, the y coordinate, get it from the last number. So this is what we call as the completing square form. So like for the B part, so we know that for this point, right, is going to be 2. But the problem here is we do not know what is the y here. So we only know that the p is going to be negative 2, right? Because it's 2, so that's why negative 2. And then the plus q part is the part that we need to find before we actually proceed. Okay, it's by doing substitution. So you can do either negative 2, 0 or 6, 0. So it's going to give you the same answer. So for example, if let's say I'm using like 6, 0, right? So what I'm going to do next is to substitute it into the equation. So f of x is equals to 0. Then after that, negative x. So plus, so 6. Okay, so we know that the plus p is going to be minus 2. Then after that, square plus q. So I can find my q here. So 0 equal to 4, so negative 16 plus q. So it gives us that q is equal to 16. So I can get my equation here, which is equal to f of x equal to negative x minus 2 squared plus 16. And later you'll need to expand it when you want to solve this question. Okay, so now since we have the equation here already, then we can proceed with our working. So now f of x is equal to k. Okay, so we can substitute our function here. So negative x minus 2 squared plus 16 equals to k. So we know that the question wants us to find the range of the value of k so that the equation has a real root, right? So we have a similar questions in like number 2 that is for equal roots. So this one has real root, so which means that it indicates that the b squared minus 4ac, which is the discriminant, should be greater or equal to 0. Okay, Why is it greater or equal? Because it tells us that it has a equal roots. It has a real roots, but it doesn't tell us that whether it's an equal one or a distinct one. So that's why it should be greater than or equal to. Yeah, okay, this is very important. So which means that before we proceed to b squared minus 4ac, we need to expand this, and after that we arrange everything to get the general form of equation first, then only you can do b squared minus 4ac. So let us try to expand this. So negative x squared minus 4x plus 4 and then plus 16 equals to k. Okay, so negative x squared plus 4x minus 4 plus 16 equals to k. So let us try to arrange it. So x squared, yeah, so I'm just going to make the x squared to become positive lah, so it's going to be easy in that case. So negative 4x, then after that minus, I'm sorry, here, so go there, so it become plus. Yeah, so the k is still a positive one. Then after that, this is going to be positive 12, so which I move it to the other side and become negative 12. Okay, so equal to 0. So with this equation, then I can proceed with b squared minus 4ac greater than 0. Okay, so now I can substitute the number that I have. So negative 4 squared minus 4a, and the c is k minus 12. Okay, greater than 0. So we continue. So 16 minus 4k plus 48. Alright, so from here I'll be able to get 4k. Yeah, because normally I don't want to deal with the case with which I have a negative coefficient. So that's why it will be easier for us to just move this to the back. So that's why the sign will be changed lah. Yeah. Then after that 54. Okay, so after I'm sorry, it's 64, 48 plus, yeah, so 64. All right, then after that, I'll be able to get k lesser than 16, and that's my answer. Okay, so yeah, I hope that you are not confused with my working. Yeah, basically, I'm just moving the negative 4k to the other side. So it's like 64 is greater than 4k, so 64 greater than 4k, so it looks like this. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, in this case, if you are writing like 64, then after that, greater than 4k, so it's just going to give you the same thing lah. So k is like smaller than 16, right? So when you try to write it in a way that the unknown is in front, so it become like k smaller than 16. Okay, so you have 1 mark over here, 1 mark for applying the b squared minus 4ac, and 1 mark for successfully identifying the equation. Then after that, make it up until the general equation. So it's like 3 marks here, and after that 1 marks here. Okay, all right, so move on to 12. Okay, number 12. So given that 2 to the power of n is p and 3 to the power of n is q, so express this in terms of p and q. So yeah, this is an indices question. So let us try to copy down the expression which is given here that they want us to solve. So it's a cube root. Okay, then after that, divide by 4 to the power of n plus 1. All right. Okay, so you can see that from the information that given here, right? It's like 2 to the power of n and 3 to the power of n. So which means that for the base of 4 and 27, we might need to change it to 2 or 3, so that later we can try to change the form to p and q. All right. So for the 27, it's going to be 3 to the power of 3, right? So 3 to the power of 3. Then after that, don't forget you still have your n plus 1. So this is how you can write it. Then after that, for the cube root, it's going to be the power of 1 over 3. So we can straight away do it like this. All right, then after that, divide by. So for 4, it's going to be 2 to the power of 2. So 2 squared and then n plus 1. So now we can continue it. So for this term, you are going to multiply them all together. So you have 3 multiplied by 1 over 3, you are get back to 1. So which means that we have 3 to the power of n plus 1. Then after that, divide by 2. So for this term, it's going to be 2 times n, which is 2n, and then after that, 2 times 1 plus 2. Okay, so now we have the terms like this, and later we are going to change it to 2 power n. So how can we split this up so that we can have 3n only? So the idea is that we know that for the indices to plus together, which means that it's going to be like index then multiply. So that's why I will have 3 to the power of n. Now split it to 3 to the power of 1. Okay, so I hope that you can remember like the identity of it is like, for example, a b times your AC is going to be equal to AB plus C. So that's why we are doing the reverse operation here. So which means that for n plus 1 is going to be a power n, then a power 1 like that. So that's why just going to do the exactly same thing over here. So 2, 2n, and then after that 2, and then 2. Okay, sorry, the dot here, which means it's a multiply lah, but yeah, I mean, normally I use this. Okay, so we can continue. So for 3n, we can actually change it to q already. Then after that, 3 to the power of 1, which will give us 3, so 3q. Okay, then divide by, you realize that that's one of the point you have 2 to the power of 2n, but now we only want 2n. So how can we do that? So we just put the 2n inside. Then after that, we still have the 2, right? So we can put it like outside. Because n multiplied by 2, you get back to 2 to the power of 2n. Then after that, multiply with 2 to the power of 2, which give you 4. Okay, so now we can continue. Yeah, so which means that you will get 3q, then after that 2 to the power of n, which is p, so p squared, then multiply by 4. So from here, your last answer will be given 3q divided by 4p squared. Okay, so for this question, you're given 1 mark for changing your 27 and 4 to 2 and 3. Then after that, realize that the cube root is 1 over 3. Then you are able to split it into like the terms like this so that you can change to p and q. And after that, your last answer, so it's like 3 marks. Okay, so let's try to see the next one. Okay, number 13. So given that log base m u square v equals to x, and then log m v over u equals to y, so you need to express log base m u v in terms of x and y. So yeah, this is a logarithm question. So which what we need to do now is that we try to find out first. So you can imagine if let's say you want to express this in terms of x and y, right? Actually what happens here is you can imagine that your final step is that you have this, then after that since it's multiply, right? So meaning that we can always split it into like log AB, then after that log A plus log B. Okay, so which means that from this we might need to find out what is log base m u, and after that log base m and v. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is given here. So log m u square v will be equal to x. Alright, so what's the thing that we can continue? Yeah, we try to split the front part. So which means that I will have log m v u square plus log m v equal to x. Okay, I'm just using like the identity of log a b equal to log a plus log b. So for this part, then the 2, I can move it in front. So eventually it will give me an idea for log mu plus log mv equal to x. So we can just try to leave our answer here first. Okay, so this is like the first equation. So now I'll continue with the second one. So I'll have log base m v over u equal to y. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. So this is a over b, right? So it will become minus. Okay, so log base mv minus log base mu will be equal to y. So from now, you see that I have these two equations. So what are we trying to do now is we try to make like an equation that which only consists of like u and then equals to what, then after that v equals to what. So from here, you can see that I have log v here and log mv here, which if I'm trying to use like the first one, the first equation to minus the second equation, then what do I get? So 2 log mu minus minus, so I'll get plus. So it will give me 3 log mu. Okay, then after that log mv minus log mv is going to give me 0. So after that x minus y. Okay, so from here I'll be able to get log mu already. So yeah, I'm just going to move the 3 to the other side. So x minus 3 y over 3. So this is the first thing that I get. then I'll able to continue with you can like either take either one. So I think for the second one is going to be easier. So if log mv, okay, so since we have log mu already, right, so we can substitute. So minus x minus y divide by 3, okay, will be equal to y. So meaning that I'm just going to use my answer here to substitute inside to my second equation. So after that, I want to find log mv, right? So log mv will be equal to y plus x minus y divided by 3. All right, so now I can start to find the answer of this. So I want to get log muv, okay, and after I split it, then I'll be able to get log mu plus log mv. So I have the answer which I found just now already. So log mu will be equal to x minus y divided by 3. So log mv will be equal to y plus x minus y divided by 3. Okay, so now I can plus them together. So since it's good that we try to combine them together, which means that this we'll try to let it be like 3y divided by 3 as well. Okay, and then plus. So for these two terms, since they have the same denominator, so we can try to plus them together. So x plus x is 2x, negative y minus y is negative 2y, so divide by 3. So now I'm just going to combine them together. So 2x, 3y minus 2y, so plus y, and then divide by 3. So this will be my last answer. Okay, so from here, you will get 1 mark after you have obtained what is log mu, then after that, what is log mv, then after that, your final answer. Okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3, and then when you try to put them together, yeah, so this is the part, so 4 marks. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, question 14. So this is a histogram that show the time taken by a group of athletes in a 100-meter running event. Yeah, so you can see the histogram over here. So given that 50% for the athlete took less than 17.25 seconds to reach the finishing line. So in a mathematical approach, so we know that 17.25 is actually the median. Yeah, because there are 50% of the data is actually less than this number. Okay, so that's the idea. So which means that for us to find the k, we will need to use the information that is given here, which is the median. So what is the formula for the median? Yeah, you can get it in your formula sheet. So it will be equal to lower boundary plus 1 over 2, the total number for the frequency, which is big N, then F, the cumulative frequency before, then after that FM, and also C. Okay, so yeah, FM which means is the frequency for the median class, and C is the class size. Okay, so in this question, maybe we will need to identify our median class first. So since it's given 17.25, so 17.25 is actually in between this range, right? Which means it's 16.5 until 19.5. So this is known as the median class. Okay, so let's try to substitute the information that we have here. So it's given that the median is 17.5. So the lower boundary of the median class here is going to be 16.5. Okay, and plus, so we have 1 over 2, and is the total frequency. So since it's not given here like how many athletes here, so which means we'll need to plus them all together from the histogram. So which means the first class we have 5, then second one is k, the third one is 12, and the last one is 7. Okay, and then minus the big F. So the big F is the cumulative frequency before the median class. So 16.5 to 19.5 is our median class, right? Which means the cumulative frequency is going to be 5 plus k. Okay, so the cumulative frequency before the class. All right, then after that, divide by, so what does that mean by big F? So you can, sorry, the little f. So there's a way that you can remember. It's like a big F, meaning like it's a bigger number, so you can remember the frequency or the cumulative frequency. Then normally the cumulative frequency has a bigger number, right? So the big F here is like the cumulative frequency before. Then when they write FM, the small f is basically mean it's normal frequency. Then M here meaning the median class. Okay, so what is the frequency for the median class? It's 12, so that's why 12. All right, so the C is the class size. which in this case, you can actually take anything, but I believe that that's a mistake for the question. Maybe this should be 22.5 because the class size for the histogram should be the same. So yeah, we can see like the class size here is like 333. That's only the last one. Maybe yeah, there's like correction. Maybe it's not given in the questions paper and so on. Okay, so a class size then is just 3 lah. So which means you can use any upper boundary to minus the lower boundary. So from that, we can actually continue our calculation. So 16.5, we can surely move it in front. Then I'll be able to get 0.75 will be equal to. So after I expand this, then I'll be able to get like 1 over 2. So here 19, so 24. So it's going to be 12 plus 1 over 2k minus 5 minus k divide by 12. And don't forget, I still have a 3. Okay, so yeah, depends on you whether you want to multiply here or you want to shift the 3 in front. Yeah, so yes, so 0.75, so I'm going to multiply here together. So I have 7 and 1 over 2 minus k, then I get negative 1 over 2k. So 12 and 3, so I can actually do factorization. So 3 and 12, so which means a 4 here. So I'll just bring 4 over to the other side and I'll be able to get 3 equal to 7 minus 1 over 2k, which 1 over 2k will be equal to 4. So this one will give me my answer for k, which is k is equal to 8. Okay, so for this question, actually here is all calculation lah. So basically the 2 marks is given to show that you know how to apply the formula, then your last answer. So it's like a 2 marks here. All right, so now we continue to B. So if 25% of the best performance athletes will be chosen to enter an intensive training program for a higher level for competition, so what is the maximum time? So which means that we are getting the 25% of the best. Okay, and there's some like tricky part here. You might want to remember that the top 25% isn't the one that is the top 25%. Is the lowest 25% that we have here, because we want to get the group of athletes with the lowest time, with the least time that they spend in the running event, right? So that's why basically if you want to find the 25% and what is the time, actually the time is the Q1. So which means Q1 indicates to you like 25% of the data you have is less than this value, right? So that's why, in another words, in question B, we are going to find out what is the first quartile. Okay, so let's start with it. So for the B, so the first quartile equation will be equal to Q1 equal to, so it's the exactly same thing like the equation that you have just now, but it's just that instead of like 1 over 2, because we are finding the first quartile, so it become 1 over 4. Okay, and it's no longer to be FM lah, it's going to be like the for the first quartile and C. So how do we actually identify the class for the first quartile? Is that we need to find the total number first. Okay, so n will be equal to, so just now we have 5 and then the k is 8, right? Then after that 7 and also the last one, which is 12. Okay, so when you plus them together and you'll be able to get 13 plus 19, so which is 32. So 1 over 4n is going to be 8. Okay, so we know that the first quartile class is at the cumulative frequency like at the 8 here. So you can see that the first one is 5, then after that the second one, the 8, meaning 8 here. So which means it's from 5, then after that, so the first quartile is going to be under this class. Okay, so the idea is the first data to the fifth data is under the first class. Then after that, the sixth data until the 13th data is actually in the second class. So we want to find what is the 8 data here, so which means our Q1 classes is between 13.5 to 16.5 lah. So that's the idea. So which means our lower boundary here, yeah, so maybe you can write down. So the Q1 class is going to be 13.5 to 16.5. Yeah, obviously this is like not the class if let's say the limit and the boundary is a different number. Okay, so yeah, I'm just writing for our reference here. So the Q1 here is the number that we want to find. So lower boundary is 13.5 and then plus. So 1 over 4. The n here is 32. And then minus of the cumulative frequency before. So which means that the cumulative before you have only 5. Okay, so 5 and the frequency for the class that you have, so meaning that the frequency for the second class, which is 8. Okay, then after that the C is the class size, which is same, which is 3. Okay, so you can just put in all the numbers in your calculator and you will be able to get 14.625 seconds. Okay, so this is the time where the top 20% of the athletes can achieve in the 100-meter running event. Okay, so the same thing here, you have 1 mark for applying the formula, then also your last answer, so 2 marks. Okay, so move on to 15. Alright, 15. An online battle game sets a rule that the first player who wins 2 out of 3 battles will be rewarded a steak dinner. So the probability that Jack wins a battle is 4 over 5 if he's won the previous one. If he lost in the previous one, then the probability that he win in the second one is 3 over 5. Okay, so it seems very complicated if we try to read it again. So that's why it will be easier that we try to transfer all the information in a table form, which in the way of a tree diagram. Okay, so yeah, this is a probability question. So you can see that what happened here is that it's a battle. So there are two possibilities. The first one is either the first battle you win or the first battle you lost. So after you win the first battle, right, then perhaps in the second one you continue to win or you were lost in the second battle. So it can be like the third another case which you lost in the first battle, but after that you win in the second battle or you lost again in the second battle. So if let's say you win for 2 battle already, do you think that you still need to continue? No, right? Because who wins 2 out of the 3 battle will be rewarded. So if you already win for the first and the second, which means that you are not necessary to continue to the next battle anymore. So if you win for the first and lost in the second one, then you might need to continue. Either you win and after that you get a steak. Then after that, if you lost, then you wouldn't be able to get the dinner lah. So the same thing for the next one. If you lost and win, then after that, maybe the last one you will win or the last one you will lose. Okay, so if you already lost for it continuously for 2 battle, then which means that you are not going to continue anymore because you lost 2, which means you cannot win 2 already. Alright, so that's the whole idea here. So we can try to write down the probability there. So if Jack wins a battle, the probability for Jack to wins a battle is 4 over 5 if he has won the previous battle. So which means that if he win here, then the probability for him to win the next one is going to 4 over 5. Which in the other case, for him to lose after he win, right, is going to be 1 over 5. Is that okay? Yeah, so after that we try to find the same thing again. So this is loss, right? So yeah, this is another win. So after he win, then after that the probability for Jack to win after the previous one is a win, which means that it's going to be 4 over 5 here as well. Then after that 1 over 5 for loss. Okay, then after that, let's try to look at second one. So if he lost in the previous battle, the probability that he would win the following battle is 3 over 5, which means if he lost here, when going into the second battle, the probability for he to win is like 3 over 5. So for him to lose in another way is going to be 2 over 5. Alright, so the same thing, if he lost here, then the probability for him to win the next round is 3 over 5 and loss is 2 over 5. So we have all the rough figure here. Okay, so now given that the probability for Jack to get a steak dinner is 151 over 200, find the probability that Jack does not get a steak dinner. So I guess this is quite direct. So which means that if we want to get the probability that Jack does not get a dinner, okay, does not get a dinner, it will be equal to 1 minus the probability for Jack to get a dinner, right? So 1 minus 151 divided by 200, which will give us the answer 49 over 200. Okay, just like that. So B, find the probability that he won the first battle. Okay, so you can see that in our tree diagram, right? Actually, you have all the numbers. It's just that for the first battle, we're not sure what is the probability that he won or he lost. So which means that we'll need to use the information that we got in part A to help us to get the answer. So since we know that the probability for Jack to not to get a dinner is going to be 49 over 200, like, right? So let's try to see what is the kind of probability that he does not get a dinner. So it's either the first one, he win. So if he win, then he's going to get a dinner, right? So for him to not to get a dinner, meaning that he lost for 2 times. So you have like few scenario here. The first one is like win, loss, loss. So he win for first time, then after that lost for second time and third time. Okay, then after that, if win loss win, then it means that he got the dinner lah. Then the other case is like loss win and loss. Okay, so which means that he lost for the first one, win for second one, and the last one lost again. Or you have the last scenario here, which is like for the first and second, he already lost, then which means that he didn't get the dinner lah. So these are the three scenario that actually caused Jack to not get the steak dinner. So let's try to put like a variable over here so we can try to get the answer. So which means that the probability for him to win the first battle, maybe let us try to put a P here. Okay, so if let's say the probability for he won the first battle, right, is going to be equal to P, then what is the loss? Is going to be 1 minus P, right? This is how we get to the other one. So which means like if yes is 2 over 3, then the no will be 1 over 3, something like that. So let us try to do it like P and 1 minus P. So win loss loss, so which means that it's going to be P multiply with the loss is 1 over 5. Now after that another loss is 2 over 5. Okay, I hope that you are following. It's basically W L L. So that's why P 1 over 5 and 2 over 5. Then after that plus, so we are going to loss win loss. So loss is 1 minus P. Then after that win in the second one is going to be 3 over 5. Then after that loss, so 1 over 5. Okay, we are looking at this L, W, L. And the last one is L, L. So which means it's going to be 1 minus P and then another loss, so it's 2 over 5. Okay, so equal to 49 over 200. Alright, then you can do your calculation. Yeah, expand whatever that you need to do here. So which means that for this case, you will be able to get P times. So for here, you are getting 2 over 25p. Okay, so move on to this one. Plus 3 over 25 minus 3 over 25p. And last one plus 2 over 5 minus 2 over 5p. So you can move around, then after that simplify and get your answer, and you'll get negative 11 over 25p equal to negative 11 over 40, and your last answer will be equal to P equal to 5 over 8. Okay, so the marks for this question is like 3 marks. So it's going to be 1 mark for the A part. Okay, then after that for the B part, either each one that you get here, either one that you get here will give you 1 mark. So if you are able to plus them together and equal to 49 over 200, you have 1 mark, then your last answer 1 mark, so like 4 marks here. Okay, so alright, that's it.